Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we're going to go ahead and create our first package. So I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to go to Create Package. We'll go ahead and give this a name. Call this Digital Delivery Example. Call it 100. We'll choose our state. Now that we've filled in these three properties, we can click Create Package. And now we've got a series of tabs. And now you just work through the tabs. So the next step is to add some files. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Files. And I'm actually going to choose a zip file. This is just the zip file I downloaded from the Utah DOT's digital delivery site. So you can select files as a group, as a regular folder, or you can pull in a zip file if you like, or you can choose individual files. It's pulling everything out of the zip file. It's creating a unique digital fingerprint, and you can see as it pulls in the files and fingerprints them, it adds some metrics. So here are all the files. You see it just saved the package. And now what I need to do is I need to add a contributor, because I'm not the only one responsible for this. And to do that, I can hover over this and click the plus button. And I can just automatically search for anyone who is already a contributor. So I happen to know that Jim is a contributor, so I'm going to click on his name. And then what it does is it basically gives you a little dialogue. It says you're going to add somebody, and that it will send them a notice after you've assigned them some files. So I'm going to click Add Contributor. And now you can see that it's just waiting. So I've got Jim here. It shows that he's been added. And what I need to do is choose which files Jim's responsible for. So I'm going to go ahead and assign the breakline files to Jim just by hovering over this little button here. And now we've got a file. I'm going to go ahead and add this certification memo as well. So now that I've got two files that Jim's responsible for, I'm going to go ahead and click the button to send the invite. Now the invite has this default message. You can customize this so that Jim knows what the project's about, what it's for. And I'm just going to click Send Invite. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to Jim's screen, and Jim's going to show us remotely how things look on his end. Okay, so now we are in Teams, and we are looking at Jim's screen. And you can see here that Jim has got a notification from me. And so he's going to go ahead and click View. Okay, so when he views this invite, he sees the two files that I've assigned him, and he has an Accept and a Reject button. So if there was something wrong with this, he could go ahead and click Reject and it would come back to me. But in this case, everything's good. He's going to go ahead and click Accept. And now this is part of his active packages. So you see under the Active Packages dialog here, he's got an option with a little pencil there to edit this package. So we'll click on the Edit button. And now he has the same series of tabs. So he just works through the tabs. So he's going to go to the Files tab. And he's going to decide which ones are the legal documents. He's going to sign and seal, looks like the break lines. He's going to leave the other one for information only. And then he's going to go to the next tab and add some metadata. So there's some metadata fields that are locked that are just prescribed by the agency. But in this case, Jim's going to add a custom field for the sub-consultant. And Jim also has the option to add notes about this sub-package, or this child package. Perfect, that's part of the record. It'll help the person who put together the package, me, know what's going on. And now what he needs to do is click Review and Finalize. So he has to basically bind this with his signature and write it to the blockchain. And at that point, once all of the sub-packages are complete for anyone that I've assigned, then I can write my entire package, sign and seal, and write my entire package to the blockchain. What you'll notice is that Jim was required to verify the file continuity. In fact, I'm going to mouse over the screen here. He did verify file continuity, and what he did was I had sent him a request saying, I have these two files with these two signatures. Now these are files that Jim originally gave to me, and I've presented them back to him as part of a child package. But what Jim just did is drag drop a copy of his copy of those files onto the screen. And when he did that, it happened very quickly, but when he did that, it compared the fingerprint to his local copy to the version that I've presented him. So Jim is is secure in knowing that he's signing and writing to the blockchain a signature that matches the files and that we're all in agreement. And so you'll see this again when I do the signing, and I'll go a little bit slower so you can see it, but that's the first step that Jim had to do here, is verify file continuity. Now that he's done that, he's going to go ahead to do the sign the package, which is down here on the X. So we'll watch Jim go through this next step. Go ahead, Jim. All right, so he's applied his signature, and now he's going to write this to the blockchain. And when he does that, it's going to demand that he provide his two-factor authentication credentials. So Jim is looking at his phone right now to get that latest time-sensitive code, and he's going to type that in. And now that he's supplied his code, boom, everything's good. And so now we're going to hop back to my screen and see what it looks like on my side. Thanks, Jim. Okay, so here we are back on my computer, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a refresh. And you'll see that now when I'm on the Files tab, you'll see here that it shows that Jim has signed the package. So what this means is now I'm sort of free to move forward in the process. I'm going to go ahead and select this alignment as the legal document, and I'm going to choose this corridor reference as a legal document, just some random bits. And I'm going to choose, we'll go down here and we'll just pick a couple files. Let's just say we don't need this README sample file. Well, I don't want to actually include that as part of my project, so I can just actually click the slider, and now that falls into another tray of excluded files. So I know that those aren't actually going to be part of it. Maybe I just grabbed that by accident, but you have the ability here to exclude files, so that's nice. Okay, so we've got our files selected. I've chosen the ones that are going to be signed as the legal document, and I'm just going to go through the tabs. So I'm going to go to Metadata. This is the parent package. I could add metadata if I like. I'm not going to, because you got to see that when Jim added some metadata. I can add notes about this particular parent package if I need to. But really the next step is to go to Review and Finalize. So once I have everything filled into my tabs, then you just go to the Review and Finalize. And again, the first thing I need to do is sort of revalidate all of the files. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open up the folder that has the files, and I'm going to select them and drag drop them onto the interface. And as you can see, as I hover over with this group of 58 files, I'm getting an orange bar around the entire dialog. That means that it's ready to accept these files and check the signatures in the record against the actual copy. So if I drop that on there, you'll see that it's scanning through and they're turning green as it finds them. So it matches the files and it matches the signatures. If you have two files that have the same name but a different fingerprint, that more than likely means that that file has been modified, and the system will alert you to that and walk you through the steps to sort that out. If it's the case where you have a file that has different file names with the same fingerprint, now you have a situation that also the interface will walk you through dealing with. So those are two possible combinations that you could have here. But more than likely what's going to happen is you're going to pull in your files, fingerprint them, assign them out. The person on the other end, the sub-consultant, is going to validate, verify, sign and seal their stuff, and then when you're done, you're going to just double check everything by just dragging the files back over to be sure that all the signatures are in alignment, and then you're going to go through the same step that Jim did, which is to sign and then write to the blockchain. So click write to blockchain, I'll type in my code, and there you go. We've successfully signed, sealed, and secured the entire project on a blockchain.